Yeah, it's definitely scary. I do a lot of tricks that are really scary for the first time. Like I fit my body through a flaming tennis racket. That was pretty scary.
Yeah, we opted not to do the fire in the studio today. Okay, the tennis racket, how big is the circumference? If
I don't know the exact size. It's a standard tennis racket. I bought it from Canadian Tire. It's a Spalding.
So it's a top-class tennis racket.
Right on, yeah. Basically.
And hey, John, you got to mention, the guy's going to go through this tennis racket with his body, but the key is he took the strings out.
Yeah.
So he's not a complete magician here. The strings have been completely removed on this sucker.
That is an important part of the trick.
Yeah. I guess you have to stay slim if you're going to pull off this trick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How big is your waist?
It's about 32.
32 inches.
But
okay.
The hardest part is getting the shoulders through. So.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that said before. I can relate to that.
It's like being a breech bird. Okay, so let's give it a roll. And
okay.
Mike and I will describe what's happening. We're also going to videotape this and be able to put it on the web later. But this is Aiden Orange, who is now going to juggle 2 tennis balls while pushing himself through a tennis racket. Do you have to like dislocate your shoulders before you do this?
Well, I am going to do like a quick stretch to just prepare for the trick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So give me a second here. Here we
stretching,
go.
And by the way, my friend, I won't punch you in the stomach when you're going through the tennis racket.
Thank you.
That's how Houdini died, you know.
Doesn't work out for Houdini at all because they surprised him.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So you can already.
We have a triple jointed man.
He's already pulled his one arm entirely around the back of his neck and down, and it's under his chin now. From the other side,
and he's
of his
waving
body.
at me, and that's freaking me out.
His hands are on the opposite sides of his body, and he's rubbing his fingers.
Now he's stretched out.
I'm
so
ready.
I'm
ready now. So here we go. Okay, first part of the trick. Start juggling. Whoops, I already messed up.
He dropped the balls doing the one-handed juggling.
I shouldn't have said anything. It's not like they can tell.
Body.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. It is early in the morning.
Juggling 2 balls with his right hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the right arm and shoulder are into the tennis racket.
I can verify that, John.
Yeah. Now the head is in the tennis racket.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got one shoulder, and it's all the way on the other side, and he's got to pull it over his left shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's still juggling the ball with one hand.
And he's going right through the empty frame of a tennis racket. Of course, the strings, as we mentioned, have been removed.
No
he's
Vaseline.
Not that magical. No Vaseline, no grease of any
now
kind.
it's around his waist.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part done, isn't it?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all
it's a pretty tight
uphill
fit.
or downhill from here, depending on how you look
now
at
below
it.
the bum, and one leg out.
He got it! He went right through a stringless tennis racket, and we were here to see it, John. Can you believe it? What are the chances?
What is the weirdest thing that you've ever done, and have you ever been hurt?
The weirdest thing I've ever done? Well, that's 2 different questions. I don't know. I have been hurt before. I used to do a trick where I fit through a racket, balanced on a rolly board. It's like a board on a pipe, and then it was up on a stage, and I fell off it once, and then never did the trick again after that.
and that was the time you got hurt, or
that was when I got hurt. Yeah. As for the weirdest thing I've ever done, I don't know. That's a.
I guess balancing a lawnmower, working a lawnmower on your chin is pretty.
Maybe it still hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good question too. Are you working on a new trick?
Actually, right now I'm working on bullwhip cracking. I've been working really hard for a couple months, learning to crack bullwhips with both hands, so that eventually I can do a nice 2-handed bullwhip cracking combo routine.
And what would you do with this? Is this a romantic thing you've got going? Or?
Well, you know,
part of the show or what?
Part of the show.
Oh,
part of
okay.
the show.
Right.
I do want to. I want to add it in my show, and I want to hopefully start doing some halftime shows. Put a quick 3-5 minute routine together.
Aiden, thank you very much for coming in. You've been a sport, and people can see you at Buskerfest, which continues through Sunday.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. That's Aiden Orange. Speaking of bullwhips, all right, it's 8:22, and Liza Fromer is